Hello, folks, on this beautiful Friday, September 25th, a day that I'll never forget, hopefully. September 25th, we've got a lot to celebrate today, and it is, hello, Melissa. Always nice to see you on here. I think it's day 44 today, which is very auspicious for those who are into numerology like myself. It's a very high master number, 44. And yeah, so today is the birthday, the first breath anniversary, the incarnation day, however you want to think about it, of Seja, the second daughter that has come through me. And so I was reflecting a lot today about birth and her birth specifically, and my experience of birthing her, which I'm not going to tell any of those stories specifically today, because those are stories I need to make sure that she's heard directly from me first. Make sure that she's got all her birth stories. But Seja was born at home. I had a home birth situation with her, planned that way, but it's interesting because not that long ago, yes, hello Lyndon, and yes, here. Are you laughing at me? She said to me recently, after my last hospital staycation, that traumatized me quite a bit. Again, it wasn't a pleasant experience, and I almost had to go back. And she said, Mom, you really, and maybe I said this out loud to you guys too, maybe you really need to get on top of this hospital thing, because it's obviously a part of your future and you're going to be in there for a long time. So you need to change your mindset, she said to me, about the hospital. And it's like, you're right. So when I was reflecting today on what I learned from my birthing experiences, and they're big experiences, right? You don't have a lot of them, so you learn a lot about yourself in the process of something that is so magnificent and so challenging. Little human carrying around for 9 months and then getting it out of your body. It's got some physical challenges to it. Opportunities to see what you're really, made of, right? So I was thinking about that, and the decision that led to Seja's home birth was because I had a traumatic experience with my first birth in the hospital, and I didn't want to have that again. So, when I was quite far along in my pregnancy, I hired midwives, because the thought of going into the hospital again to give birth, I couldn't do it, because of my first experience of giving birth was in a hospital, and it was not great. It was long and hard, and many changes of staff and doctors, and it was just like a gong show. I didn't want to recreate that situation, so I didn't want to have anything to do with the hospital. So irrationally, because of my past and fear, I made this decision a little bit late in the game to have a home birth, which sounded very romantic and nice, but it was illegal at the time, and the midwives were a little bit nervous, and they didn't know me really well. Long story short, I think I would have had a better birth experience in the hospital with Seja, with my doctor who knew me well and who had attended a thousand births or something like that. My doctor had attended way more births than my midwives actually had. And it was my midwives not knowing me, not necessarily trusting me, and their nervousness that led to me not having the most ideal home birth situation either, which led to me, I've told you before the story in another live about accessing my rage, right? Oh yes, the same experience which led to your home birth, Melissa. I'm sure that's what you're meaning by what you wrote there, and it's like, yeah, you had such an amazing second birth experience, though. I love your birth story with your daughter. That was so beautiful to hear that story that you told me a few years ago. So I thought, okay, this hospital thing, I need to get to the root of it, like Sage said, and because this same desire to not be in the hospital now in this new situation could be, part of that could be relating back to, again, my past traumas in hospitals, which I'd forgotten about. I'd forgotten about my birth experience with Kiara until I was just reflecting on the home birth situation of Seja today. So little traumas, right? And how they affect our minds only know the past. So our minds are that's what all this stuff in our humanity in this lifetime that affects our decision making and our emotions. It's funny how they resurface, and it led me down a path of, when I saw the resurfacing of reflecting on, even just over the last 6 months, the roller coaster of almost dying, preparing to die, thinking I'm only going to live for a couple of months, then having the experience of doing well and responding, and then not responding and things going in the opposite direction, and then the hope with the stem cell, and then the deflation with, like, all this over the last 6 months. And my thoughts about life and death and relationships, and how in the first round, when it's like, okay, you might not live very long. You need to wrap your head around that and your heart around that. It's like all of the resolutions were really quick. It was really clear what relationships I needed to resolve, which ones were okay, who I needed to forgive. Like, it's kind of like the check mark, and do it really quick. It's like, if you only have a month to live, get the important stuff done first, which I did the first round, right? And now the longer I live, and this is kind of, it's good, but there's another layer of all that review, that quick review, that when it was like, good, not good, resolve, do, finish, like, check. I'm finding that I'm going back over some of those ones that first check, first glance, first review. Yeah, they're pretty good. They're resolved pretty good. I'm revisiting them the longer time I have, reflecting a little bit more, getting a little bit more subtle, seeing where I might have a little bit more work to do, how I can really resolve things and complete things back to a place of love. And isn't that the ongoing process of life, right? Ogres are like onions. There's always new layers to explore. And what goes around comes around, like in those layers, right? Those circles. That ogres are like onions is a Shrek line that I just loved. And it's like, that's what's happening, is the layers are coming back around, way more subtle. Still more reflection and resolution for me to do, to use this time wisely to resolve everything, even the subtlest disappointments and resentments back to a place of love with the people in my life, rather than just the quick review and the quick goodbye. And who knows how long this goodbye is going to be, right? A few months, a couple years, maybe more, who knows? And so it is that I will continue to reflect and resolve my life and my relationships back to a place of love, and hopefully in quite a short order resolve this hospital distaste that I have back to changing my perspective on it, letting go of the past disappointments and traumas, and resolving them so I can move forward into this very new procedure and opportunity that I have to live longer through these stem cell transplants that I'm about to undergo, move through. They're unknown waters. They have nothing to do with the past. And I'm looking to really clean that slate in both my heart and my mind before next Monday, when, which is, I've just been informed today is my admission day. So I've got a week and a bit, 9 days or something like that, to pack and resolve and clean things up, make sure that my house is in order, not just my home, but all of my little undone bits, so that I can start this new chapter of my life. They say the day that you get your transplant is like your second birthday. So it's like a fresh start for me, you know? My second birthday, and I'm giving birth to myself with my own stem cells, and that's kind of exciting. I need to look forward to this opportunity a little bit more than because I can recognize the hope in it, and yet I've allowed this past association with hospitals to taint my positivity around it. So I'm going to get on that and starting with celebrating, the wisdom of the beings who have come through me, and we're going to have some cake tonight and a birthday celebration for Seja very soon. So thank you for hopping on and bearing witness to my humble admission of where I'm at with this whole hospital thing, and thank you for listening to me and my stories. Sometimes I get really tired of talking about myself, and so I'm grateful that you're still showing up and listening, because that it's easier than talking to an empty room. Definitely way more fun with you here. There was no song tonight. I had kind of a full day today running some errands. A friend took me out to get a few things for the celebration this evening, and now I need to go to it. So big love to you. I will see you tomorrow, and for another layer as the onion turns, as the world turns, as the onion turns. So if you've got a song for me to dance to, let me know what that is, and I'd love to hear your suggestion for a song, because a lot of my songs come through you. Yeah, big love to you. Bye-bye.